Dr. Bernhard is effectively working on making this one of the very few stops in America where you can have a joint replacement of any sort done, and done in a very efficient manner, right here in this area.
I've sent him people from Columbus, from Cambridge, from St. Clairsville. And when people say, who should I go to? Then I'll say, well, you can go to a lot of different doctors. But if you want to go to the doctor that's going to do the best job, are you willing to go to Mansfield, Ohio? And no one's ever turned me down.
He's never lost where he came from, and he's very down to earth. He grew up in the Crestview area in Ashland, born and raised. He grew up on a dairy farm, milked cows, all while he was growing up.
My parents' family farm actually sits on the county line, so half of our farm is in Richland County and half is in Ashland County.
He has never said one time, I wish I were in a really big city. Never. He's always been happy to be planted here.
We wanted to try to bring something different that hadn't been done before. We invested a lot of money in both Ashland and Richland County, and the thought was that it would be an all-inclusive office where we would have MRI, X-ray, bone density, physical therapy, office space, and we would have renters, but we offered all orthopedic services in one location. So we started that concept actually in 1999. I started on staff in Ashland July 1st of 2000, and I started on staff at this hospital in Mansfield March 1st of 2001.
My first recollections of Dr. Bernhard was his intensity about what he did. His toggling between detail, strategy, understanding every nuance of how he was efficiently and from a quality perspective making a difference in patients' lives is something that, I just really, you don't see that every day.
He really understood what needed to be done, not only in this community, but the state of healthcare. And that ability to say, as a physician, I'm going to specialize in certain areas, I'm going to partner, I'm going to really lead in 4 areas. I'm going to lead with quality, I'm going to lead with service, I'm going to lead from an accountability standpoint, and I'm going to make sure actually that the cost is the least amount possible. He had a very clear vision, how he engaged the other doctors, how he engaged the team to work through that vision.
He's a go-getter. He's a leader in sports medicine as far as orthopedics go. He's done nothing but raise the bar, I think, at least in this area, as far as orthopedics. He's the guy.
He's doing probably between 8 and 10 cases each day. He's operating 4 days a week right now. I looked at tomorrow's schedule and he's seeing 80 people. He goes like that all the time.
We usually do 12-hour days on surgery, and in the office it's a little bit lighter. It's usually a 10-hour day. Then there's call duty. That depends on what comes in the ER.
Yet he still has the time to go see his family, go see his kids' events, see an extra athlete for ourselves. It's unbelievable.
I was never the most gifted student, but if I needed to read it 5 times to get an A, I would read it 5 times. So I just outworked everybody. And that was passed on by my parents.
Growing up on a farm, he is not adverse to work in any respect. He is all about ensuring that a patient family coming through here is going to have an improved outcome when they leave, and they're going to do it as efficiently as possible.
Some of our vision was to create a call center. We did that so that it allowed patients to get in better. He's really clear with his patients what the plan is, and he's even very clear with the patient when it's not the right time for surgery.
It's hard to get that care, to have somebody behind your back all the time going, if you need something, call me, text me, whether I'm in surgery, in the office, and he does respond.
Every one of his patients, he can talk to you about them. He can talk to you about them years later. He's got a great memory around these things.
The ability to remember a patient, it's a very bizarre thing, because if you ask my wife, she'll say, you can't remember what I told you 20 minutes ago. But if my office staff asks me about a patient over the phone, I can say, yep, that patient, this day we did this, we did that. When you're given the honor and privilege of another human being coming to you with the respect that they're putting their life and their body in your hands, You don't forget that as a surgeon. If you forget that as a surgeon, then it's time for you to step away.
Outside of the medical world, he's as down to earth as a guy as you would think he is. You know, his bedside manners show, but when he's outside of the medical site, he's the same person.
He comes into work with a big smile on his face, and he's very positive. He's very humble. He's a good man, and he always, always, always says thank you to his staff. And he always says, I couldn't do this without you.
You don't have a company or a business or a practice without your employees. My LPN, my office manager, and my head receptionist, they've been with me for 20 years. So we've got gray hair together, the three of us. We grew the company to 25 employees between physical therapists, x-ray technicians, receptionists, 5 trainers, 3 physical therapists. They have a love for the area like I do. They treat the area people like they're their brothers and sisters. And that's the key to taking care of people in healthcare. You have to treat the people you're taking care of like it's your mother.
With his aptitude, with his reading, etc., he is so well versed on what is the best practices nationally, internationally, and is creating some of those right here in Richland County.
He's always trying to advance technology. And so 2 of the investments that we made up at Mansfield Hospital centered around the robot that actually does surgery and the robot that helps to make sure that our room is as sterile as possible.
We were the first to do a total knee replacement with the robot, really in this entire region, in our 7-county region. The robot gives you a new precision. They don't make it idiot-proof, but they really help you with the alignment and the precision, the balance, and the safety. We started using a robot sterilizer about 1.5 years. It emits an ultraviolet radiation, so everybody has to clear the area, and it sterilizes any organism that's left behind after we scrub down the room.
He works very hard on making every piece of equipment, everything we do, our processes. He makes sure that we're as efficient as we can be, and honestly pushes us on that end.
Everything moves and changes. The things that I did in residency seem like ancient relics. If you would have told me that I would send joint replacements home the same day as surgery, I would have said you're crazy 20 years ago.
He wants to be able to offer his patients the biggest and the best, things that a lot of people feel like they need to go to Columbus or Cleveland for. He wants them to know that they can get it right here. When they come to see Dr. Bernhard, I feel like they're getting the best doctor they could possibly get to do their surgery.
He's a leader for us as far as like athletic trainers and sports medicine. When he wants to do something and he has this vision, it's hard not to follow him because this vision is always moving forward.
And we're still looking to be better. You can never be happy with what you're doing. Even though our quality and results at Ohio Health are fantastic, we're always looking to be better because it's the patient, the human life.